you have other potential matches for both of them that would be far more interesting.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker. It doesn't look like they're going to do that, but that would be a fresh match that we haven't seen, right? I assume that they did Roman and Bronson Reed. They avoided doing Roman and Braun Breaker with the idea that they would come around to it at a show like WrestleMania because it would be a bigger match. You could do that match. We talked about, you mentioned Cody and Punk. Cody and Randy Orton and the history that's there. Jacob Fatu is another one who I think they're going to want to elevate in 2026 because I think that they have this, I think they have like a nucleus of guys, and I've said that it's really 4 or 5 guys, and Jacob is part of that. I think Braun Breaker is like their crown jewel, it feels like. And then you have certain other people like an Obafemi and people like that. But I think that Jacob, come WrestleMania time, who's to say he's not in a position to be in a real top match of WrestleMania? We don't know, by the way. We have 2 mystery men angles going on at the same time right now.
Yeah.
Because we still haven't found out who attacked Jacob Fatu.
And apparently he's supposed to be back very soon. This month, actually.
I floated the idea that, wouldn't it be crazy if it was Cody? And that would kind of go into a Cody heel turn that wouldn't really happen until maybe early next year. That's probably, pie in the sky, wild conspiracy theory stuff. But there's so many other possibilities and directions that you could go in that we haven't already seen. Why do we have to keep going back to the same shit over and over and over again?
It's all they know, bro. It's all they know. They feel like, again, I'm going to put my tinfoil cap on. They are so desperately trying to chase what was so hot when he first took the reins of creative. He basically took a lot of what Vince had and he just kind of molded it into his own. He's desperately trying to go back to what worked, and he wants to recreate that now going into 42. Because now they're going to be without Cena, so they're going to need to go back and do what they were doing, and that's telling stories, and they feel like telling the Reigns and Cody story again is what people were really into, and they're going to try and do it again, and all I feel like they're going to do is ruin the magic that was WrestleMania 40. The only way that this works is if Cody goes heel. The only way that this works, because Cody mentioned it not too long ago, we haven't seen the last of the final boss, the only way that this works, and you can call me crazy for even mentioning it, the only way this works is if Cody sells his soul and Roman is the one that needs to fight against The Rock, who has now his corporate champion, which leads to Rock and Roman in Saudi because you know exactly what they want. That is the only way it works here.
There was already a report when the news came out about WrestleMania going to Saudi in 2027 that they were in discussions about trying to get Dwayne Johnson on that show. Well, I don't doubt that they would love to get Rock in the ring on that show. And if Rock was ever going to give a commitment a year in advance, it would probably be for that show. So I hate that we're talking about this because I think there's a very real possibility that that could happen. It also kind of sickens me that, we're talking about the idea of going back to this Rock and soul nonsense because that worked out so well this year. But could I see it? Sure, I could see it. Part of my issue with Roman is as a character, he hasn't changed. He hasn't evolved at all.
Well, he hasn't changed, but he's also operating as a babyface now. We don't really need to put him as the champion. He wrestles 6 or 7 days a year.
Why is he a babyface? What makes him a babyface? He's operating as a babyface?
But he is a babyface, but he's operating as a heel.
I know, but it's kind of crazy to me that he is a babyface because he hasn't changed. He's still kind of a dick to his family.
He's literally done nothing to really change anything at all.
No.
The fans missed him, and that's why they cheer him.
And also, he's coming off 1,300-something days as champion. It's a run that I can't say it won't ever be matched, but if it is, it won't be for many years, and it won't be by Roman. So you're never going to get a title run like the one that he had. Him fighting for championships in the main event of WrestleMania, I'm sorry, that does nothing for me.
No.
But he had the run of all runs and paid it off, by the way, with that 40 finale in Philly in the biggest and best way possible. That's just you're never going to top that, not with this guy, right? Because he was the champion and he lost it in the most dramatic way. And just to go back to, okay, Roman's going to be fighting Cody again for the championship. I'm sorry, it doesn't. it doesn't do anything for me. Triple H made a comment at the post show after Survivor Series, and he said that he kind of looks at Roman the way that he looked at Undertaker, where he's a guy that doesn't need the championship, like he's bigger than the championship. And Undertaker became the attraction where it became more of like, okay, who's wrestling him at WrestleMania? But he didn't need the title. Well, if that's the case, and he honestly believes that, then I don't know why they're so hell-bent on Roman being in the championship picture at WrestleMania. He doesn't have to be.
Unless it's just there for them to compete over, and it's not really about the championship, and it's about family. Because if you go back and look at why everything happened the way that it did, Rock wanted Roman. So they gave them that. Fans revolted. We got Cody instead. Rock weaseled himself into the final boss. It was always about getting Roman over as the guy in the family. So it would have worked out in a piss poor way if it went the way The Rock wanted it. But out of everything that happened that was bad, we got the final boss. And it's always been about getting Roman over as the guy, the tribal chief, the fucking high chief of the family. So how was Rock going to do that? By coming back as the final boss and having Roman beat him in Saudi. And that's the Rock's final match. And Roman can ascend to the highest chief. It's always been about getting Roman over as the top guy in the family. So if it didn't happen then, it certainly needs to happen now.
Okay, so because of that, because we have to go with the family story again and push that forward, we're just going to sacrifice another championship match at WrestleMania next year.
If the story is there for it and Cody goes heel, I would accept it. Yeah.
Well, if Cody goes heel, that's a different story. But what you're talking about is Cody going heel because of The Rock. So
selling a soul, yeah.
Yes, Rock, I will be your champion. So basically what they tease that we might get this year, you're going to give it to him next year.
Yeah.
Well, my issue is with Cody needing The Rock in order to go heel. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't know that we need to go back to this soul nonsense. I think there are other ways or other reasons for Cody to go heel. But sure, yeah, they could do that if they want to. I'm just, again, the issue for me, the issue with Roman, it's not needed. I understand he's one of their biggest stars. The fans love him. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be somewhere in the mix. I'm just saying this idea of going back to Roman and Cody, over how many years are we going to tell this story? My God. I mean, I understand the storytelling aspect, but there does come a point where it just gets boring. And it's like, can we please get something a little new and fresh here in this main event picture at WrestleMania? Like, is that too much to ask?
They sadly don't know any better.
How are we ever going to elevate some of these other people if it's the same fucking faces every year in the same spot?
I don't know. WrestleMania, they don't care about building the future. They just want the marquee matches, and Triple H is all about fucking moments.
That's it.
And
It's
big
Vegas,
matches, that's
and
it.
they're going to make a shitload of money next year, and they got to sell tickets, and so they want the OTC, I guess, challenging for the championship. But my God, I mean,
He's going all in. He's doubling down on Vegas. So he's tripling down with this fucking
oh my
match.
God, I see what you did there.
Yeah. So
Great. Okay, are you excited?
no, I'm not. Is it gonna get me? Is it gonna get me to go out to Vegas and fucking wave the white flag for WWE? No, it's not. I'm not excited to attend the show that's already been done with this main event three times before in the last 4 years.
Twisted Tea Light. Less sugar, fewer calories, and proof 4% kick of alcohol. Keep it twisted.
You know that story where slow and steady wins? That's terrible advice. Things move fast in the modern workforce.
Last 4 years. Like, why? Who gives a shit?
But it was never done in Vegas before. So
No.
Now it can be done in Vegas.
Yes. So that's the discussion. It only works, in my opinion, if Cody goes heel. Do I think they do that? No. Like Jason said, it's pie in the sky, fucking nonsensical stuff, but that's the only way it's going to work. And I don't know how WrestleMania is shaping up. It's way too early to tell. Let's take it one step at a time with Breaker winning the World Championship on January 5th, and then we kind of go into Saturday night's main events because that's happening before the Rumble, and then we get the Rumble in Saudi at the end of the January. So that's the latest there. A couple other things that happened on Raw quickly. Solo and Gunther. That was the semifinal here for the Last Time Is Now tournament. LA Knight beat Jey Uso. Gunther beat Solo. Best match of Solo's career. They had a really great heel versus heel match where we thought that with the injury to Penta, this is not really what we want. We wanted something else. But never doubt Gunther. He never has bad matches. And Solo showed up to work last night. And
They actually had
I feel
people
like,
at one point chanting Solo's name.
yeah, you felt that, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Yeah, it was kind of. I was like, oh, they're talking about him.
Yeah.
I thought they were talking about me. And look, it's hard. Heel versus heel is not an easy thing to do, and they managed to find a way to pull it off. I mean, you have two guys who were bigger. I mean, Solo's not a small guy, and so they went in there and they were basically beating the hell out of each other, and a lot of chops, and the fans were really getting into it. You had Tala Tonga out there in Solo's corner, and Gunther kind of took care of him. And then it came down to you have two heels. Like, who is going to be able to cheat the most effectively? Gunther is not one that you usually see cheating and using low blows and underhanded tactics in his matches. In this match, he's like, you know what? I see what this guy's willing to do. So, like, fuck you. The referee, he was looking the other way. He kicked him in the dick, and he powerbombed him, and he pinned him. And the fans loved it. The fans loved the finish. They loved the match that they got. It definitely exceeded the expectations that I had for it. And now we can say that every single match that Gunther has had in this tournament has been one of the best matches in this tournament.
Yes. So which I don't understand why people think he's overrated and he's pushed down our throats and he's not a good wrestler.
Well, look, some people, him not being a good wrestler is just a ridiculous and stupid thing for someone to say, and I can't take your opinion seriously. If your opinion is that you think he's boring, I think that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to have that opinion. Gunther, I think, he's an acquired taste because he just works a very particular style that's not terribly flashy. And so not everybody is going to be a fan of it. But to say, oh, the guy doesn't know how to wrestle and he sucks, like, I can't take you seriously. So I don't really pay any attention to that. He has been the best thing about this entire tournament. And maybe that's low praise because this tournament has not exactly been lighting the world on fire. But that match exceeded my expectations. Jey Uso and LA Knight was pretty much in line with my expectations. I was very happy that LA Knight got the win. But really, let's be honest, what were they fighting for? They were fighting for the right to find out who was going to lose to Gunther on Friday on SmackDown. So now we already know, who is wrestling John Cena in his final match.
Sorry, LA Knight fans. We're sorry to disappoint.
Yes, I'm sorry, LA Knight fans. I know that you're in for some more pain before this year is over.
Maybe he'll get an elimination in the Rumble like he didn't do last year.
Well, he'll probably get his match with Chris Jericho if Jericho comes in, which I'm actually not as sure about that now as I was a week ago. But that brings us, just real quick, because I talked about this on my end. We have Saturday night's main event is coming up very soon, and we're going to get John Cena against Gunther. And I feel like my answer definitely would have been different a few months ago. I'm coming around to the idea that I think John Cena should win that match.
Really?
I do. I think John Cena, I think it would probably be best for John Cena to get a big win on his way out. It's probably something that John Cena himself wouldn't even want. But again, like Sting didn't want to lose his last match from what we heard, and Tony Khan put his foot down and said, no, it's the right thing to do. I think it would just be a real bummer for the fans at this point, especially coming off a loss, like losing the way he did at Survivor Series and getting screwed by the whole Judgment Day. If he just goes in there and loses again in his last match. This big match with all this pomp and circumstance, Washington, D.C., packed house, everybody's there to see him. And he goes in there and, he gets put to sleep, by Gunther. I just think it would be a real buzzkill. And I think coming off of a retirement run that has not really been all that great, I almost think that you just sometimes have to put aside what maybe is like the best move for business, right? Because Gunther's staying and John Cena isn't.
I have a huge surprise for you.
You're pregnant. Yes.
No.
Thank God.
Your